Hello and welcome to another video. This video is all about verticutting with the grooming attachment from Alec at former Britain's Best Lawn. So on day one, this is the takings. As you can see, quite a lot of stuff has come up. I'm surprised how much has come up considering we only did quite a vicious scarify a few weeks ago. And then we went over it with the cylinder after and give it a nice cut, and that's how it looked. We came back the next day, Wednesday the 7th of August, again with the verticutting attachment in. So after I'd finished the big stripes, I just thought I'd mix it up a little bit and go left to right in singles, just so our stripes don't get used to being brushed the same way. This is a great way to reset the stripes in your lawn. Day two's takings, we've got a lot more stuff come out. However, I did drop the verticutter down a little bit deeper just so we got more stuff out, and as you can see, it's pretty similar to what came out yesterday, but just a lot more of it. And then what I thought I'd do is a good reset strategy as well, is just to go back over the stripes that we've just brushed the other way with the verticutting attachment, this time with the Hater Harrier 48 Pro on setting number 2. And what we're doing with this is removing top growth as well. And guess what? We're back on Thursday the 8th, and guess what we're doing today? Verticutting once more. Just following back our main stripes that we like to put in this lawn. Because we went the other way yesterday, we can start burning in the stripes the way we want. And then swapped back over to the cylinder attachment, cutting at 23mm. This just gives us scope, so when we're feeding, our grass can then be cut at 25 and we're not starting at 25. So in essence, we're just regaining control of the grass whilst we can. And that Alec Sterling really giving a nice fine finish. Again, let's just have a look at what we've taken out. Again, just pretty similar to what we've been taking out for the past few days. I'm actually surprised how much we're taking out. I can't believe we're taking more out as the days go on. I thought it would be getting less. So what, guys, we're back again. It's Friday. And guess what we're doing? Verticutting again. God, I'm getting bored of this. Has to be done though. It has to be done. It's going to pay us dividend in a few weeks when we see the results. So don't worry, just keep going. I know it's boring, but you enjoy it really. And when you see those results, it'll all have been worthwhile. And again, just to finish off, we're going over with the Hater on number 2. This is again just taking the lawn down, because every time we take a layer of thatch out, the mower is naturally going to drop deeper. So number 2 will actually cut shorter every time you verticut. And again, let's just cast our eye over what we've took out. Again, pretty much the same. I just can't believe how much is actually in this lawn. I just wonder at what point would you actually stop taking stuff out, or would you just be able to keep going and going and going forever? And guess what? We're back again. It's Saturday the 10th, and guess what we're doing today? Again, we are verticutting. Getting to the last dregs of it now. We're going to do today, we're going to miss tomorrow, but then we're back on Monday to give it another and its final one. But it's all becoming clear now why we've done this, because those stripes, even though they're not great colouring greenness, you can really see that all those grasses are facing in the right direction, giving us an epic stripe. Just to finish off with the cylinder now, 23mm once again. Like I said before, every time we take that layer of thatch out or verticut, the mower is going to drop deeper, so you can cut at the same height, but you are actually cutting shorter. And look at that stripe, really pronounced, so that verticutter really getting those grasses all facing the right way. And for the penultimate time, let's have a look what we've taken out. There isn't as much come out today, definitely not, but it's still the same old green and brown and all horrible and slimy. Only a good thing we're getting this out. So we're back, it's Monday the 12th. Lots of leaves knocking about from the beech hedge behind. We trimmed that up the other day, so there's a lot of dead leaves knocking about. So I've just got the Hater out on number 2, going back against the stripes that we've been putting in over the last week. As you can see, it's doing a great job of picking those leaves up, but this is also resetting that stripe so all the grasses are stood on end for our final verticut. And today we're going to be doing a scarify as well. Alright, so as you've just seen, I've just cut the lawn with the rotary mower back against the stripes. This is just so it doesn't get used to going in one direction. A lot of leaves on the lawn because me and Lloyd trimmed that hedge behind us last week. So there's a lot of leaves still falling off that, which we couldn't quite get off at the time. So the lawn was covered today, as you can see there. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to do our final pass with the VERTICUT. The lawn has been VERTICUT. This will be its 8th time this week. The plan was to do it every day, but yesterday was just too hot. The Sunday it was just baking, so I didn't want to do any further damage. Not that we've done any damage, but obviously the more you open up that surface, the more the sun can penetrate that soil and dry it out, which is not what I wanted because we've got a really heavy wind as well at the moment doing extra damage. So we'll give it a pass with the VERTICUT, then I'm going to go over it with a Scarifying attachment in as well, and then we'll give it a cylinder cut back in the normal stripes, and then we'll get some products on, and then in a week to 10 days hopefully this lawn will be back to former glories because it's looking a bit sorry for itself. Well, that was the plan. 2 weeks pain for 2 months game, remember, and then going into the autumn we're in a good place because the lawn is back under the control of us. So let's go. All right, so for the final time we get the VERTICUT out. It's just on the top of the white in terms of height. I didn't go too deep on this exercise because it wasn't a Scarify or a really vigorous VERTICUT. It was just grooming that top surface. And then we quickly switch over to the Scarifying attachment. This is a great one because it gives us 100% coverage all across the deck. So as it's spinning round, it's cleaning every inch that it covers. Okay, so that's the VERTICUTting that we took out today. And that's what we've just took out with the Scarifier. So you can see the kind of like different, that's a lot more finer and more necrotic stuff which is dragging off the floor, whereas that's more grassy, which is because it's going through tidying up the blades of grass, and that's what we want with the VERTICUTting groomer attachment. We want to be taking more grass off than thatch, so that's a great attachment for getting the stuff off the floor, stuff that dies back, whereas the VERTICUT does get a little bit of that. But with the VERTICUT, we really want to be getting more grass blades stood upright and removing those tillers to allow new growth to form. So yeah, so it's really interesting to see how much we've took off this last week. And for the final time, we get our cylinder out. 22mm we're cutting at today, just getting it short as we can, just to allow for a little bit of growth, and then when we cut it, we can get back to where we were, 25mm, without pushing it even higher. Okay. So it looks better than it actually does in real life on camera. I've got to admit, it isn't this green what you're seeing. But if we get into the sun, we can just see how much we've cleaned it out. I'll come back in. So we can see all them nice grooves now. Really clean and open canvas, which is what we want. And then when we feed it, all these blades of grass can take that up, and it'll just thicken up again naturally without having to do any seeding or anything. We don't want to be doing that at this time of year. We're going to use what's there, recycle what we've got. If you remember, this area very dry, just can't get enough water on it. We've got the tree, we've got the hedge, we've got the sun baking on it all day. Very difficult to keep wet, this area, but considering it's had 8 VERTICUTs, it's not looking too bad. It'll come back. This corner over here, a lot better because this is newer because we dug it up last year, so we've got fresher soil. A few worm casts knocking about, but these will come out when we feed it, but obviously we'll just keep getting new ones coming through at the minute. But we've got a solution coming for that. We've got organic, like a feed type thing, which is good for the worms, what I used last year. We've got that in 1 litres. Works on some gardens, doesn't work on others. So it's just one of them, but if we can reduce the amount we get, that can only be a good thing. Some people have seen like epic results, some haven't seen so good results, but it just depends where you are in the country, how wet it is, etc. All different variables. But when it comes to the worm cast now, it's all about reducing them because we're never going to be able to get rid of them since they took the carbendism off. We're just stuck with them now. So what the next job is, let's just show you over here as well, because this is the area where we always get wear, even with the mowers. So we might have to throw a bit of seed down here, just because it's a bit barren. But that's just because I'm turning over here all the time, and it just always goes this area. It's under the tree as well, it's in the shade a lot, so it just ends up deteriorating even faster. But in the main, where we don't turn, we can just verticut till our heart's content, because it doesn't do any damage to the crown. Only where you're turning it does the damage, but if we can kind of take care when we're doing that, there's no reason why we can't verticut all the time. But I will be doing a lot more just to see what we can do to keep it like this. Oh yeah, it looks nice now, look at that. But yeah, let's just keep verticutting once it's fed, just to see what effect that has going forward. Can we get it looking even better for winter? That's the kind of idea I have, is how good can you get it looking for winter. Last year it was great. Can we go one step further and get it looking even better? Only time will tell. Okay, so I'm just going on with the granular fertiliser now, at equilibrium. Remember, nice and slow, good strong forearms, keeping it close to the body, just in case we hit any undulations which make us go flying or stop the wheels, because they're what are flinging the fertiliser out, and if they're impeded, then your fertiliser is going to stop. Remember, when you've got a circle, always carry on past it, because you're going to end up with the corners of the circle missing, if you like, where we're in a square. Just start a little bit there, and then come back. Bolton got off to a flying start on Saturday, thanks to Leyton Orient's goalkeeper, so much appreciated. But I said he was rubbish because he got his angle wrong for the first goal, because he pulled his arms away because he thought he had it covered, but went into it back at net off the post. And then I don't know if it happened to everybody, but it went off in my house just as the Leyton Orient guy was he pulled the trigger, and Baxter pulled off a great save, but everybody missed it because it went off. Sky had a technical issue, and then everybody's game went off, I think, as well. So did that happen to you? Because I wasn't very happy, because everybody was like, well, did he score, did he not? So and then it never came back on, so we only caught it on the highlight. So hopefully that doesn't happen every week when we're playing away. So yeah, so I'll just get this finished off. I'm umming and ahhing about liquids because it's a bit windy, but it keeps stopping, so can we just find that window we need to get the liquids on? As you can probably hear, it's blowing a gale, so I'll have to come back and do that tomorrow. But as long as I can get this granular on, I'm happy, and I'll get some water on. I'll set my pump up and everything, and then we'll water this with the sprinkler. Okay, so it's far too windy to spray the liquid products today, so what I'll do is I'll come back tomorrow, because we've got a bit of a downturn in the wind. We've got a bit of rain as well, so I can tie it in. We're doing that at the same time, then it gets watered in. So what I'll do is I'll just water this by hand for now in the areas. I'll do the whole lawn, but I can specifically target certain areas which have dried out. So while I do this, why don't we catch up at Howard's with the work that we did 17 days ago, when we give it a good scarify and a verticut and a good feed with the granular and the liquids. I went and cut that today. I've been on it for the last 2 weeks, obviously, cutting it. I was going to do it Friday, but the wind was just too much. Just kept blowing my tripod over. So let's go there now, and we'll catch up with what it looks like today. Now we're back at Howard's. So what I'm doing today is, if you remember last time we were here, we gave it a really good verticut and scarify and put the ultimate summer pack on and equilibrium. We're back 17 days later. I've just been cutting as normal with the cylinder and the rotary and whatever else, watering. It's had 3,000 litres of water in the last couple of weeks. So what I'm doing today is just picking up all the debris with the rotary and taking the height down a little bit onto burning in my stripe, my new stripe, which I'm bringing back from what I used to cut in the middle of the noughties. So I'll tell you about that in a sec. So now we've done with the hater on number 2. I've just popped the verticutting attachment in again and doing it on a very high setting. We're not going too deep today. All I want to do is get these blades of grass all pointing the same way and just take out any rubbish that's in there, just so we can really make these stripes pop this afternoon. And as you can see, we've not taken too much out. Still a little bit's come out, but generally it's more grass than thatch and necrotic growth, which is what we want. We're just tickling it today just to get those grasses stood up on end. And then back in with the cylinder attachment at 22mm. Remember also to lift your cutting height back up after you've used your VERTICUTting attachment, because you might make the mistake and end up scalping your lawn. So we're just going over the stripes we've created, and I'll tell you what it's called after we've done this. All right, looking very nice indeed. A nice new pattern for you. I used to do this all the time in the mid 2000s, but then just ended up like getting bored of it. But I brought it back and it looks like a bar. I used to call this barcodia. Actually, this was the name I gave it back then, and this is because it looks like a barcode, believe it or not, but not black. It's green and white. So yeah, so if anybody says like what stripes like, you just say, oh, it's barcodia. Beautiful. It really does look better on a smaller lawn. Yes, the sun was just out a second ago and it was looking absolutely beautiful, so try and get you some footage of it when it was out, because over the other side it looks great. But you see how that VERTICUTting cartridge, the new groomer cartridge, is just really enhanced those stripes, it stood everything upright. So then we're cutting with a cylinder, just really getting a nice neat cut, which really makes those stripes ping. If we have a look up close, looking very nice indeed. Just be careful to walk back on the stripe. Even under the tree there, looking great. We've had a lot of water on this in the last couple of weeks. It's been so hot. 25 degrees yesterday, but I loaded it on Friday. We've put about 4,000 litres of water on this in the last couple of weeks. We've had a bit of rain, but under the tree we don't get any rain under there because the tree acts as a canopy, stops it getting wet under there, so we have to really make sure we top that up with extra, even though it's just chucked it down this morning. So I think the sun's just about to come out, so I'll make my way around the other side and we'll see how it looks. Oh yes, the sun's out. Looks absolutely beautiful. It's not had any galactic green, funnily enough. Just the Dan Summer Secret, the iron in that is popping for us. But if we was to put galactic on, we would go to a next level. But when I came on Friday to film, it was just blowing a gale like it is now, but it was actually worse, so the tripod kept falling over. So I didn't manage to get any products on, but don't need it, honestly. Dan Summer Secret's enough at this time of year. Absolutely stunning. Okay, we're back at Britain's Best Lawn and it stopped being windy, so I was able to get the liquids on. I've got the summer pack on there. We've got Dan Summer Secret, Grace, Orbit, Slow Grow and Stella. But in with that, I've got H2Go and SoPro just to help us out with the stress it's been under. Okay, so now we've got all those liquids on. You can see the iron really working now after a few minutes. So what I'm going to do is water this in, get to work quicker, and we can get the results even quicker. It's going to rain tomorrow as well, which is great, just to wash in that equilibrium a bit more. But hopefully you've enjoyed this video and it's given you the confidence to do your own. So don't worry, it'll be fine. Take care and we'll see you next time.